And we're back on Wednesday Talk. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that like. We'll get to the formalities right now. Let me go ahead and pop the chat up. I appreciate everyone that's coming in the chat. We're gonna talk. There's so much to talk about. Literally, we could be here 2 hours talking about it. So hit that like. Shout out to our sponsors, DJ Booth. And shout out to 201 Maine as well. I see the people trickling in. Robert Richards, I see you, my boy. 49er Way, Esquivole Mike Stero. We're going to talk about it right now, cabrón. No te vayas, güey. No te vayas. No te vayas, cabrón. Hit that like. We get this chat up right now. We'll talk about it. Lots to talk about, man. Boom. In both directions. How you like me now? Solid Boat 831. I see you, my boy. I see you. ¿Qué onda, Mikey? Saludos, bro. I'm good, man. I'm a little under the weather. Keep it 1,000. Wow, what the gente. But there's so much to talk about that I was like, no way. We're not going to let this opportunity go. So let's talk about it right now. Let's go through the formalities, though, real quick. Of course, hit the like if you're just joining for the first time, or if you're listening on the replay, do the same thing and just hit that like button. What is Wednesday night? What is the live about? It's about what you want to talk about. It's about the people primarily, period. That's all we talk about. And leveling up also. Leveling up and getting yourself to that place where you want to be. Because I've been through all that. And so I can speak from experience. So gracias to all the day oneers. Gracias to everyone that's in the members only. If you don't know what the members only is, that's where I put like the gritty, the grimy, the videos that would get probably, thousands and thousands or maybe more views, right? Those experiences, I share them on the members only. My members only know what's up. I think I just dropped one yesterday in the members only. It was about how they duped me and one of my ace deuces into the gang files. They duped us and they got us into the gang files. And so I told that story in the members only. And after that, I think it was his first time in juvenile hall. My partner, who's out now after 20-something years. That was his first time in juvenile hall. And then months later, he would go do a murder and an attempted murder. Crazy, crazy story. I'm just glad he's doing good. I mean, really, I'm just glad that the mental changed, because we could be out here, but still fucking be in there. Let's just get that right off the rip, man. That's nothing to glorify. Anyone is a straight pendejo. If you're sticking your chest out and said, I went over there where, I was fucking crushing sopas and throwing them down, and then I did this and I did that, and then the hoyo, and what a waste of time. So I put I said that to say this. I put those stories in the members only. If you want the gritty and the grimy and those kind of stories, you're like, Mikey, you want to know. It's in the members only. It's something 99. I don't know, $4.99 or $7.99, whatever. It really just gives us a platform for that. So those are the formalities. We got them out of the way. Again, I'm a little under the weather. Maybe you can hear it. Maybe you can. Gotta have the paño. I'm gonna have the paño right here. And speaking of under the weather, you just reminded me of a shout out to OG, Triple OG, who runs the YouTube Yarda. The reason I say that is because a couple videos ago, he did one on some character named Dirty Weather. Some individual on YouTube, another YouTuber, right? And I guess the guy did went on a show that's, what is it, 60 Days In? Something like that, right? 60 Days In. And I'm just like, man, I mean, you're getting recorded. It's going out to the whole world. It's going out to, you're recorded. It's going out to everyone. And the dude said, I don't know the dude from Adam. I'm not subscribed over to him. He said, oh, them 20 years I did don't mean nothing. In that kind of environment, say if you were to go back, which sucks, man. That's a nightmare. It's not gonna happen because I just don't make those choices anymore. I don't put myself in those predicaments, anymore. Don't get it twisted though. You creep in the chante, you get blown out. But anyways, He said them 20, in that kind of situation, you have to go, it's a jungle. You got to go in there and just get off, man. There's not too many, especially not in the pods. No, that's not happening in the pods over here. One time I remember they ended up putting me like a sea wing, and it was like with all the borrachos or dope cases, something like that. And I was like, oh, this is cool. It's like an open, the main line was, I was where the main line is, the main line rotunda. And it was just one wing off to the side, right? That didn't even last. 2 hours later, Diaz, roll it up. Took me to the pods. So anyways, hey, it's crazy though. All the years, some people just like they kick back into it. You know what I mean? They hit the holding tank, and instead of woe is me, because there's those vatos as well. Woe is me. That outside world is not your world anymore. This is your world. So what you got to do is, the convicts know what to do. They grab the roll of toilet paper. Who remembers that? You grab the roll of toilet paper and you squeeze it. A la chingada. Boom. There's your pillow. And they'll let everyone else go in. But if you're going to the pods, I don't know. Anyways, that dirty weather video. Shout out to Triple OG. That was a good one. Me, I've been chilling, you guys. Again, I'm a little under the weather. You've seen it in the, I started getting cover-ups, cabrones. You can't really, if I turn the chat off, there it is. I started getting cover-ups. This is going to be like a U.S. flag. Here's the stripes. But also I put in the middle, this is what makes it a custom piece, is El Águila, way. El Águila de Mexico. So El Águila de Mexico and the crest of Mexico is going to be in the middle. Here I'm just thinking of black and white. I never thought I would be going under the gun, to keep it real. And it don't feel like it, like when I was a teenager. It don't feel like it. I mean, I could feel it. That's what I guess I mean. And then this one right here, of course, I put the Chicano Tube logo. And then what it's going to do is just black. To be honest, you guys, I was just going to black the whole arms out. Hold on, you guys. We'll get into the meat and potatoes right now. I was going to black the whole arms out. I was going to go out like Skip. Órale, Skip. I was going to go out like Skip. Johnny Tafoya, Bung Donkey, I see you. Smokey the Local Bear, Ascend Mines, he says. Everlasting Bass, let's get into it. Burqueños in the Casa Tierra Caliente, that's right. Ese es el vecino de Cualcomán, where my dad's from. He's from Cualcomán, Michoacán. And the next city is called Tierra or Tierras. I'm not sure. Caliente. Anyway, shout out to you. And so let's just go ahead and get into it. We'll give a shout out to other channels as well. Everyone on YouTube, all the Chicano channels. I saw a video, really great fucking news. I mean, just the best video right there. Shout out to EBK. My brother from another mother, little carnalito. Actually, one of the dudes from Clifford. He's the one that blasted me. About 80% of my work is an OG from Clifford. But anyways, shout out to EBK. That was the best fucking news. That was what was up. You know what I mean? I know we're here for entertainment y toda la chingada, but still, you know what I mean? That right there fired me up, man. So shout out to EBK. He did a video, and I think he said it was regarding also Jay Hands. Basically leveling up, coming out on a video and saying he's leveling up, and my hat's off to that. My hat's completely off to that, because that's a principle message right here. You know what I mean? It's not where you came from, and it's not what you did, but it's where you're going. And your next move, make it your best move, period. Anyone that ever throws that shit in your face, oh, what you did 10 years ago, what you did 20 years ago, they're the ones that are just, something's wrong with them. Because you have to be able to accept yourself and be fully confident and have full self-esteem on who you are. And if you have that, then you don't give a shit. You don't give a shit what people say. So leveling up, EBK had said that. I went to Jay's page. We DM'd a couple weeks ago, me and Jay, maybe 2 or 3 times. And I went to his page, but I didn't see that exact video. So I don't know exactly, where that came from. I was thinking I was going to see a video titled that, but there wasn't a video. I went to Jay's page and there wasn't a video, but hey, that's what you call grown man shit. There comes a time where it's just you're not going to sacrifice your whole vida anymore for the neighborhood, for the fellas and all that, because anyone that's already done that one time and has caught that gray goose knows already. How many times were the fellas looking out? How many times were the fellas sending money orders? How many times were the fellas shooting kites, sending messages through visitors? No. And I get it. They're like, well, you got to do what you got to do. All right, let's go ahead and get into it. What else is right now? It's actually Car Week. It's Car Week in Monterey. The most valuable cars in the world. You're not gonna believe me. The most valuable cars in the world are right now in my condado. Shout out Shorte, I see you, my boy. Tell him, he said. Everlasting Bass, that's right. Burqueño. Droops, I see you. Raza Business, Orale, I see you, my boy. The most valuable cars in the world are right now in Monterey County. They do auctions downtown in Monterey, and I'm talking about ranflas that sell for $11 million. Imagine being at an auction. Of course, you already know, son más yuppies. Son más yuppies, pero yuppies con billete. Yuppies con billete, güey. They bet on these cars $5 million, $10 million, $15 million. There's record-breaking cars that were bought. That's why you got Jay Leno, Leonardo DiCaprio, all these people that are car collectors. Cabrones. They're all the feria that they have. It's like toys, buying toys to them. 15 mil, 15 mil, 20 mil, 20 mil. So it's Car Week. It's going to end on Pebble Beach at the golf course. Cherry, man. It's cherry. The most expensive. Y ahí está la gente. Ahí está la mona, la señora. It's like one of these 1938 kind of, ranflas. But again, it's spot on. That's what they call the cleanest. Anyone that knows cars, Shorte knows cars. I know Shorte knows cars. Anyone that knows cars knows this term. When you say this term, it basically means you can eat off any pinche corner of the car. You could eat off the engine. You could eat off the tire. It don't matter. Spot on. I know you heard that term, spot on. ¿Qué no, Shorte? So all the cars are spot on. It's Car Week in Monterey. It's underway, and so it's a good time. So let's go ahead and get into something I wanted to talk about. First off, I want to talk about Vanessa Guillen, the soldada. Rest in peace. To the familia, condolences, huge tragedy, and what I do believe it was a huge cover-up. Vanessa Guillen, there was newspaper articles that said Vanessa Guillen, and what did this happen at? Fort Bragg? Fort something? Finally, this is what the newspaper article said. Vanessa Guillen finally receives justice. Aaron Robinson was the alleged killer, and the other accomplice in the case, her name was Cecily Ann Aguilar. She got the max sentence of 30 years. I'm going to read what I got off the internet. Cecily Aguilar is sentenced to 30 years in prison. Now, warning. Okay, this gets graphic, gente. This gets graphic. So if you got chavalitos hearing, it's not the DJ edition, the music edition of Chicano 2. This is where we talk about what we need to be talking about. So it's not for kids. It's not for kids, not for children right now. Cecily Aguilar sentenced to 30 years in prison for her role in the 2020 murder of soldier Vanessa Guillen. Aguilar is convicted of helping. Okay, so again, not for chavalitos. Aguilar is convicted of helping Aaron Robinson dismember, burn, and then bury Guillen's body from Fort Hood after he killed her with a hammer. It came down the pipe just this week, and the family feels some type of closure, some type of solace. But there's major cover-ups happening at the very highest level of the government when a Chicana, when that can happen to her on base. arguably those excuse my language, those pinche bases should have some of the most security cameras, surveillance. It's a military base. You can't tell me something happens at a military base and no one sees it. You can't tell me that. You can't tell me that. You could dupe el otro pendejo, but you can't dupe me. I know that they always have had the evidence for the Chicano. They always did know. But what do? They try to wait till everything subsides because obviously in the beginning of the tragedy, tempers are flaring. The families are livid. They're emotional. They're pissed off. And then slowly but surely the evidence came out that this is what happened to her. This is what happened to her. Some kind of terrorist fate that she didn't deserve. Now, I'll tell you what they deserve. Well, obviously, Aaron Robinson, he did the coward thing. Aaron Robinson did the coward thing. That means he just took his own life. He already knew it was up. But for this individual, the other individual that was the accomplice in this crime right here, since that happened, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to take it back to some Old Testament kind of shit. To some Old Testament kind of shit where it's an eye for an eye, as heinous as you want to do something. How about it happen right back to you? It broke my heart when that news broke. And I'm going to tell you something. You didn't even know this. You haven't been following me that long, probably. I did a video, very short one, on the first I've already rebranded the channel like once or twice. Okay, Salinas Report was actually the second name, if you didn't know. That was actually the second name. The first name, I named it, and I put the crest of just the city of Salinas. It was Real Talk with Mike. When it was Real Talk with Mike, I did a video on Vanessa Guillen because I was around that time, right? Again, I wasn't doing nothing with the channel. I thought it was for shits and giggles, because I was watching it now. Shout out to Kev Mack and Big Herc and other channels I was watching. I did a video when it was called that. Then Salinas Report was the second branding. And then now we're taking it to the next level. Now it's Chicano Tube for the raza, for the people, for the gente. But I say we should take it back to some Old Testament stuff, and she should have the same thing happen to her. But I don't know. Of course, you're going to be like, oh, well, the family, and I get it. And laws are laws, and I do get that. But it's called justice because there's parts of the country right now. There's parts of the country right now where they're still chopping off hands. They're still chopping off hands. If you wanted to be a thief, sas a la chingada. Now, steal something with that, with the nub. Orale. Anyways, let's keep it moving. It was the other day was the first day back from summer break for legislators. We'll talk about politics just a little bit. Let me go ahead and go into the comment section real quick. Smokey the Local Bear. We're going to get into Hawaii. We're going to get into Hawaii real soon. Let me just get some, what's going on in the political realm. Because that shit does affect me and you, gente. That shit does move the needle a little bit. Your local legislators. Because they're trying to do some shit, I'm telling you, unprecedented. I want to give a shout out to Karina Powers that she posted today on, I think it was her Facebook, about SB 14. SB 14 was proposed to make it a serious crime if you're caught trafficking a child. SB 14 is up again for the vote. And I want to give a shout out to Karina Powers. If you haven't already tripped out on that interview, go and trip out on that interview, cabrones. He's talking about some heavy, real, deep stuff. Cartels infiltrating. She was talking about some real deep stuff. Go and trip out on that. And not only will we have heads of, she's the chairwoman of the Republican National Hispanic Assembly, but we'll also have across the other aisle because your boy ain't tripping. And we ain't gangbanging on that. We're right here. We know what we stand for. Dios, familia, y cultura. And I also know this, that Mexicano-Americanos, Chicanos, we got the largest demographic in the city, in the state And all we need to do is unify. All we need to do is unify under one umbrella and mobilize, and we can get some shit done against some of these fucked up bills. Excuse my language. Fucked up bill. I'll give you an example. AB 665 allows minors at 12 years old. Look at the age. Look at the age. At 12. See, they passed SB 260, which gave all of the the juvenile offenders that got life sentences back in the 90s, like from here in Monterey County, Prop 21 came out like in 97. And they were taking everyone to ISO in the county. They started taking everyone to ISO in the county because, there was heinous shit happening. You know what I mean? They were shooting clerks and robberies and people getting taken out and all that stuff. So they just said these youngsters are too crazy. Prop 21, boom. But what did they do with SB 260? They turned it around because after research, they realized the brain hasn't fully developed and it wasn't right to throw them in a hole, lock the door, and throw away the key for the rest of their lives. So yes, a lot of them did 20-something, but a lot of them are home too. Shout out to them. But again, these laws. AB 665 allows minors at 12 years old to leave their home and check into a shelter under the care of the state without parental consent. That means they can fly the coop and you don't have no say-so about your child. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? AB 957 removes custody of a child from the parent trip out on this. If the parent doesn't affirm the child's identity with no age limit. This pinchy rule right here that they want to pass on Capitol Hill here in California has no age limit. So you notice how they take the age limit off of it when it's something they really want to push through. They really want custody to be taken away from you. They want custody to be taken away from me, from my child, if I don't affirm that when they tell me, Dad, I think I'm a unicorn, so I'm going to identify as a unicorn. Well, let me tell you this. You don't need to identify as anything if you know who you are. The problem is there's no identity. Let's just keep it real. That's why we're on Chicano Tube right now. Hit that like. Don't forget to hit that like. Hit that subscribe. Why does the banner say Dios, Familia y Cultura? Why are those the principal pillars? Because that's the culture. That's identity. This is a blatant attack on parents and is putting government control between the parent and the child. See, there's a lot of people that believe the government has the answer for everything. A lot of people rely on the government. Hey, the government's going to help me out. Hey, let's just lean on what they say. But then there's the other side of the coin that says, wait a second. This is my child. Here's another one. AB 1078 will remove. These are all coming up. They just came back to Pinchila. And we're not going to spend long on politics. Don't trip. We're going to get to Hawaii and other things. Calmados. I know it's a buzz killer. I'm a little under the weather, you guys. I don't know if you can hear it. Shout out Shorte. Brenda Love is in the casa. That's right, Triple OG, who runs the YouTube Yada. That's going to be coming real soon on to the channel. You know what I mean? Why? Because your boy Mikey ain't forgot. You know what I mean? We got to get some Triple OG, on Chicano Tube. So be on the lookout for that video. I can't wait to make the thumb for that video. Anyways, AB 1078, real quick. We'll end it with the politics, just the political section of it, okay? Unless you guys say if I could keep going, because I do want to talk about, Hawaii and what's going on over there and other things that are happening in the world too. AB 1078 will remove school curriculum control from the school boards and give the power to the state to implement school curriculum. Another thing that they're taking power away from you, power away from me, is what they're going to be teaching our children. So the books that they're going to put, the curriculum, all that they're going to learn, the government wants to control that. And I'm here to tell you that if you let someone else raise your children, you will reap 100% the consequences of that. Gracias a Dios for the people that are going up to Capitol Hill. Okay, shout out AC. Shout out AC was up there with the Freedom Angels and other people that are really boots on the ground doing something that, you know, because the least we can do is take action to call our local legislators and said, hey, this 665-957-1078, I mean, don't vote for that. I do not want you to cast you don't forget this, gente. Do not forget this ever. The governors, the pinche senators, the representatives, they work for you and they work for me. It's not vice versa. They work for you and they work for me. They're supposed to be representatives of the people. All the people have to do is raise their voice in unison, and we can get major shit done. Major shit done. I mean, it blew me away a couple weeks ago when SB 14, okay, you know, when the movie came out, Sound of Freedom, that was a good movie. Really, really good movie. And that really got censored. They didn't want that movie to be seen, period, because those issues happen every single day, thousands and thousands. It's an epidemic. If you were to see the numbers, I can tell them to you again. If you were to see the numbers, and of course, I'm not trying to, you know, preach doom and gloom or trying to put a cloud. I'm just being real and letting you know what happens in the real world. They try to suppress that like it was nothing. The sickest thing, SB 14, was those disgraceful representatives, senators, and legislatures that, however their whacked out frame of mind or thinking is, voted no to make child trafficking or any person that gets convicted of trafficking a child a serious crime. They voted no, gente. Can you believe that? Common sense goes straight out the fucking window. That's why I always tell you guys, it's not Crips and Bloods, it's not red and blue with this politics thing. Is what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And common sense will just tell you that if a child gets taken and sold and used, abused, even if their life gets taken, all these fucking sick and heinous things, they voted no, that it would be considered a serious crime in California. Can you believe that? It nearly makes me sick to my stomach. I mean, nearly that. Shout out Fish Slayer. I see you, my boy. That's right. He's on that boat right there. What you catching today? Marlin a la chingada, huh? Catching marlins. That's right, Fish Slayer. It was a day wonder right there. Central Cal. I remember you being over there. Nino America. Woe to those who call evil good. You ain't lying. Nino America's here. It just reminded me about Uncle Trump. Well, the last one. Okay, the last one. All right. But it's truth. Because even if what they're doing, let's go ahead and talk about a little bit of it. Uncle Trump, and again, some people get mad. Oh, fucking Trump. And the fuck has he ever done to you? Take bacon off here. I don't know this fucking guy. I'm not in the politics. The first time I seen this dude, he's hosting all the mega fights for Mike Tyson, taking pictures with Bobby and Whitney and all this other shit. And then all of a sudden, motherfuckers want to hate him. I'm just saying, you know, motherfucker ain't taking food off my table, you know. Anyways, he got the 4th indictment. Uncle Trump got the 4th indictment. 2 previous impeachment attempts. But trip out on this last indictment. This is the only thing I want to point out on this. And then I'll move on. Cálmanse. And then I'll move on. He made a comment about an Atlanta. This is high-level shit, gente. This is high-level shit. And I believe este way, and I'm talking about Trump, right? Uncle Trump. I believe he was raised. I believe they're never going to find nothing chueco on him. You know why I say that? I believe he was raised. I saw a video one time of his dad and how they made their money and all this other stuff. And I believe the dad was someone that drilled ethics. He drilled integrity. He drilled characteristics. That I'm not saying El Way is perfect. Who the fuck is perfect? I don't know. And again, I'm not advocating for nothing. I'm just putting information out here to the people's court. You guys decide. After I put out the facts, you guys decide, right? Uncle Trump, he talked about an Atlanta district attorney who was prosecuting a gang called YSL. I think this is just a gang, you know, I guess now gangs want to get into rap. I mean, I don't know. Back in my day, they would get into rap to make their money to leave. Now you got them getting in. It's a little bit vice versa, right? But anyways, this gang, YSL, he gave a fucking speech and he said, oh, and there's rumors that this Atlanta district attorney had an affair with the leader, not just anyone, the leader of YSL. And I think it said some cabron's name. And he has, so on the fourth indictment, he has to turn himself in for that as well. Okay. He has to turn himself in for that. But it was after he made these remarks, all of a sudden you see La Mona, Atlanta district attorney, have press conferences and it's just going in, right? Oh, okay, this, and he's going to have his day in court. But you're avoiding the topic. You're avoiding what people want to know. Did you have an affair with the leader of a gang that you were prosecuting? Did you or didn't you? No one wants to ask that question. No one wants to ask that question. What I'm saying, again, I'll say it again. What's right is right. They do that to any American, they'll do it to you. You don't think they'll do it to you? They'll fucking tap your phones. They'll bug your house. They'll take your freedom away. They'll take your privacy away. And a lot of people vote for the people that want to put government more in control and take freedom less off the table. That's not me. That's not me. I don't believe my parents, you know what I mean, almost sacrificed their lives coming over to this country to give us the better opportunities, the best opportunities possible in life. I don't think they'd want to turn this motherfucker into Cuba. Let's just keep it real. And let's not, hopefully, ever turn this shit into Cuba. I thought that was interesting. That all of a sudden he made a comment and there's another indictment. Again, these indictments, you guys, the way it is, it's like a lawsuit. It's like a lawsuit. At the end of the day, money talks and bullshit takes the bus. Lawyers are going to take care of all of these things behind the scenes. And that's the world of politics. Let's get off of that. Let's talk about don't forget to hit that. Let's talk about the Lahaina wildfires. And I said it right, okay, cabrones. Lahaina. No, I'm not teaching you Chicano language right now. No, this is not a Chicano language post. Anyone that subscribe over to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe over to the channel. I do ongoing, and it's puros mamadas, puros mamadas. I put Chicano language, and some people get mad when I post that. Some people get mad. Well, this language is, these are all the fucking thesaurus, very, high IQ people, right? That have studied this and that. And well, that language is this and that and this and that. Cabron, I'm not talking about books. Why do you think I call it slanguage? That's not even a word. Language is a word. Slanguage isn't. So this is exactly what I heard growing up in the barrio. And some people get real offended on. They got it twisted. They got a lot of things. A lot of people have a lot of things twisted, especially, okay, like Chicano Tube. This right here. One of my goals is to disconnect the word Chicano from anything that has to do, because people mix up Chicano culture with like gang culture. Did you know that? There was a viral video going out, and it was era una muchacha, and that's right, my boy Fish Slayer's in the house. Man, I appreciate you. Fish Slayer. Damn, I had to send one more. Puro facts. Gracias for touching on the truth, Mikey. It's the truth. It's what's going to affect me and you. Wait. This is the shit that's going to affect me. A lot of people, it's a mass exodus. A lot of people are leaving California. Far away. You know what I mean? Some of your favorite YouTubers, far away from California. We're getting used to almost 30% fucking taxes. Every time we vote, how many times are you going to vote every single pinche year to fix the roads, fix the schools, and fix it and fix that? They're just funneling the fucking feria. They're funneling the money. That's one of the biggest scams. Those are the real gangsters, the politicians. The politicians, because when it's time, propose a bill and let's line our pockets up. It just is what it is. That's the reality of it. But anyways, yeah, that's what I was saying about the Chicano culture. If we want to identify the Chicano culture with anything, identify the Chicano culture with like the Pachuco, culture, because in the Pachuco, culture, they were dressing to impress. They were proud. They were confident. They wanted to look good. Bridge this gap of inequality when Chicanos were starting to be born in probably the 20s or 30s or maybe even before then. I'm not going to claim to know the decades, but there was an open border where the Mexicanos would come and work. They started to be born, and this where they couldn't go to this side of town or you couldn't go to this bar or this restaurant. They were bridging that gap of inequality, Pachucos, by dressing de aquellas. And so that's what we should identify it, not with the gang culture. The Charlie Browns, the Hush Puppies, hey, cool, I'm not knocking it. It is what it is, and I respect anyone that is still rocking all that and the high socks a la chingada. Boom, sock check. You know, that's funny and everything like that up to the pinche knee. Fuck it, go above the knee with the sock. You know what I mean? I remember I seen one meme and it said, when the sock was this high, it was like level 1, level 2. And then the sock was like this high, and it said level 4, and I want to say it was by the knee, right? And I thought about there was another level. I said they should have went above the knee. No, well, I mean, it was at the knee, I think. Well, anyways, it should have been better, and it should have said 80X. I thought that would have been a good one. They would have put that on 80X. Let's talk about the Lahaina fires. And, of course, I'm not talking about Lahaina, pinche Chicanos. This is exactly what the name of that city. This is a wildfire. This is a complete, utter devastation. Complete, utter devastation. Not only happened to a city that has a lot of historical. Shout out St. Cal. That's one of my day oneers right there, man. I appreciate the super chat. Appreciate you going live tonight, Mikey. Get well. Oh yeah, definitely. You know, it takes more than whatever's going around a little bug to take out your boy. I just knew there was so much to talk about. We're not gonna miss Wednesday night. No way. Probably be back on Friday night too, and of course Sunday. All of the history. That's one of the most touristed towns in West Maui. I'm talking about lush countrysides that just pour into the ocean. O sea, everything is a postcard. Everything is a postcard, right? And these wildfires, that there's a lot of theories. There's a lot of, and if you want to give me a call, 831-205-1735. Now that I mentioned it, let me connect it. Okay. Is this lightning adapter connected to power? Okay. Well, hopefully there's no technical difficulties. There was so much history. This is the sad thing. Okay, the sad thing is not just our 13,000 U.S. residents of Hawaii are on the calles, homeless, on the streets. But all of their cultural museums, places that hold historical artifacts, the Hawaiian gente are warriors. Let me tell you, If you want to know one thing about the Hawaiian gente, and then of course this is not all the character. This is just one thing that I do know is that the Hawaiian gente are guerreros. They're 100% warriors. And they had historical museums full of all of this cultural old emblems, heirlooms, burned to the ground, complete ashes. Not only are they homeless, most of their history was burned to the pinche ground. Now, for the conspiracy theorist, okay? And I'm one. I believe I'm one in this sense. Do I believe everything is a conspiracy? No, I don't. I don't believe everything has a fucking is on a chessboard and there's like 5-6 different levels. I don't believe that for everything. I believe some shit is what just it is, right? But I never rule out, never, cabrones, never rule out the probability of someone had a motive to do this and it was planned and it was plotted. JFK. What about JFK? Dr. King. Dr. Martin Luther King. I remember on his last speech that Martin Luther King gave, and it was a banger. I mean, it was a pinchy banger speech where he says, I've been to the mountaintops. I've seen the glory of that. That speech came off of him traveling the country, preaching everywhere this new message. That's how you know he was a prophet. A prophet has a different message and lays groundwork out for something different that no one else has done. That was Dr. Martin Luther King. The doctor told him, cabron. The doctor told him, cabron, you are dehydrated and this is compromising your immune system. You cannot preach tonight. You need to rest. He had a doctor, and this was like at the pinchy hotel room, right? And he had him like, with the, just checking him, doing a physical on him in the hotel room. All of a sudden, someone comes in the hotel room and says, Martin, that church you were speaking at holds a capacity of 3,000 people. You know how many people are there? 11,000 people. 11,000. We're going to go back to Lahaina fires. I know, I digress sometimes. Hit that like, though. Machete, I see you, my boy. That's right. Chicago Dumb. Chicago Dumb's in the building? That's right. That's Chicago Dumb right there. I got you, cabron. I just remembered. Let me wrench my boy up real quick, man. Oh, okay. Well, it's working. So anyone wants to call in, 831-205-1735. Let's talk about it. There you are, cabron. I just told you to tap in. Boom. Listo. Where did I leave off, though? All right. Lahaina. And no, it's not a Chicano slang. Lahaina. Pinche Chicanos. All their history burnt to the pinche ashes. Now, the big guy. Okay, that's what I call the president right now, because it came out on some tapes, right? They were talking to there were some tapes that came out that said the big guy. I'm talking about the president right here, Joe Biden. They call him the big guy. This is a conversations, or it was, I think there were messages back and forth or phone call, I can't remember, between 8-Ball Hunter and Ukraine and the leader of that energy group, because you know that they gave Hunter $1 million. It was a huge conflict. I don't want to get back into politics. Fuck. I know. I try not to get back into huge conflict of interest. Huge conflict of interest that the president's son sits on a board in Ukraine and makes millions. And at the same time, we fucking sent over $100 billion to the country of Ukraine. I don't even know if the fucking, excuse my language, I don't even know if the pinchy country of Ukraine is big enough to put $100 billion. That's why I don't think it went to them. I think $100+ billion went to politicians' pockets. That's what I think. I think over $100 billion using a country that's, you can't even find that country on the map. If you have one of those old school pinchy world globe maps, spin that shit and you tell me where that country is. I don't know. I know what's on the Eastern Orient, one of those continents. I don't know where it's at. The big guy, okay, because that's what it said. Hunter Biden told the guy, he goes, and the big guy doesn't want you to call back unless this, that, this, and that. Okay, anyways. He authorized $700 payments only for this Lahaina, the wildfires. A lot of people are laughing at Lahaina. Okay. Brenda Love, I see you. I see. Ron Garcia, that's right, my boy. Miss Chicano Tube is in the casa. She says OG, exactly. OG, triple OG, runs the YouTube yada. He's coming real soon. He's coming real soon over to Chicano Tube. I haven't forgot my roots. Haven't forgot the roots. Yeah, we're going to have OG, triple OG. And those questions that you've been wanting to know from OG are exclusively going to be answered on Chicano Tube. That's right. The big guy authorized $700 payments. 13,000 residents burned, their houses burned to the ground, are homeless right now, right? I did the math. $700 times 13,000 is about $1.9 million. So you're telling me residents of the United States who have gone through a catastrophic thing such as their entire city burned down, museum, which that's just, fuck, that one stings. All their history, their historical things burned to ashes. And you are going to give them $700 that equates to $1.9 million. And the last time I checked, which I think was in June, they just authorized another $40 billion to Ukraine. That gets us well over $100 billion. But residents of the United States get $700. You tell me that's right? You're telling me that's right? I think that's wrong. Now let's talk about this. The conspiracy theorists are talking about energy weapons, are talking about this is something premeditated, because there's been reports of major celebrities at the beginnings of this year making large amounts of purchases of land in Maui before any of this. One of them being Oprah. One of them being a lot of people's favorite talk show host, Oprah Winfrey, makes huge purchases of Maui property right before this. And then you got the pendejo, Governor Josh Green, talking about, well, we're thinking of a new infrastructure to build smart homes and do this and do that. Guess what, Governor Josh Green? The people don't work for you, pendejo. You work for the people. It's blatant to hear that you don't give a shit about the people and their situations and losing their houses, and you're talking about redevelopment of something that was so lush and so beautiful, all they could think of is what a lot of these pendejos call progress. A lot of these pendejos say this. They don't even look at the tragedy. They think development, the future. This sounds sick. It sounds sick because there was over 3 or 4 there was lives that were taken. Under 100 right now, it's only been reported under 100 lives have been taken. And these POSs are talking about the property, are talking about what they can do to develop it. Now, let's get back to the conspiracy theories. This was a way for them to wipe out a section of what they wanted to be wiped out in order to do a power grab on the land. But I'll tell you what, I believe this. The Hawaiian people are a united people. The Hawaiian people are a united people. They're not gonna just let they're not gonna let the okie doke happen. Caller, you're live Wednesday night.
Mikey, what's up?
Talk to me. What you want to chime in on, cabron? You see I wrenched you up.
Yes, sir. I seen that. No. You know what? Real quick, look at. Like I said, I'm not gonna go on the typical Chicago dumb rant shit. No, but look at what a lot of people don't understand, right? Yeah, the thing in Hawaii is crazy. The whole whatever, the $700 payments and whatever. But he's saying that's just for now until they figure out the rebuild structure. With FEMA, you get the house, you get the grants. They're going to rebuild the houses. No one's losing their property. Whatever. I can care less right now. I'm not saying the tragedy. I can care less about the tragedy. I'm talking about the whole Biden, whatever, $700, whatever. My point is this, right? People are like, comparing money being sent to Ukraine versus money being sent to United States citizens and tragedies and such, right?
Yeah.
See, what people don't understand is that the situation in Ukraine is proving, right? And America is paying for Ukraine to prove that Russia is no longer a superpower and a threat. Yes, they have nuclear weapons. So do we. So does China. So does India. So does Israel. Fucking, there's 15 countries that are superpowers in that aspect, right? The hundreds of billions of dollars we've sent, give or take one or 200 billion, right? All it's doing is we're fighting a proxy war against Russia through Ukraine. Because remember, when Russia invaded Ukraine, the media, the world, everybody said, man, this is sad. This is going to be a 1 week battle. They're going to be demolished. It's going to be over. Ukraine is going to be taken over, blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows. And if they don't know, you can Google the treaties that they had when the USSR fell apart and Ukraine was in possession of nuclear weapons. So they decided they traded weapons for sovereignty, blah, blah, blah. You can Google it. It's all there. Now, nobody in America wants. I have 7 boys, right? In the next 5 years, all of my boys are going to be military age. Some are already military age. You know what I mean? I have 2 military age and 3 more. Who would say that our children are worth more or worth less than the money we send to Ukraine? You understand? If it wasn't Ukraine soldiers and Ukrainian people fighting this war against Russia, it would be American soldiers, which we're the biggest force of NATO. We supply the most money, the most weapons, the most soldiers. It would be American soldiers fighting battles against Russia. And of course, if Russia's in war with America, then that means Iran's in war with America. And you know how the shit goes. World War III kicks off. So are we to say that American lives are worth less than the money we send to Ukraine? I don't think so. Look at the wars of Korea and Vietnam. We all have family members. I have uncles that died in Vietnam. I have family members that died in Korea. My grandfather fought in Korea. He's not here no more. Rest in peace. But who would trade $1 million to get their relative back or their loved one back? And that's what's going on in Ukraine right now. We are proving by sending the money to them to let them fight their own battles, right? They're fighting their own war. Yeah, we're paying for it, but we're not losing American soldiers' lives. Americans aren't dying in Ukraine. The ones that volunteer to go over and fight, that's on them. But American soldiers being sent to die would be a whole nother conversation that nobody would want to have. All right, I'm going to leave you with this, too. Anybody that hates California, right, and that wants to leave California because of the taxes and such and such, go to Florida. Go to Florida, buy a house, and when the next hurricane hits, you won't have a house because they won't insure you. Florida, Google it. They will not insure your homes anymore in Florida. AAA, Allstate, every other major insurance company, go to Florida, buy a house, and see when a hurricane hits what you have left. I'm going to tell you right now. And that's all due to DeSantis. So all these Republicans, like I said, I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I see things based off of what they are in front of me on both sides. Go to Florida, buy a house, and spend your money over there and see if you have a house after the next hurricane. They're not going to replace it. So, like I said, I'll leave it at that.
For sure. That's Chicago Dumb tapping in. I appreciate you, cabron.
All right, Mikey, we'll talk
For sure.
later.
So, in essence, there's another point of view. Nothing wrong with sending hundreds of billions of dollars over there to Ukraine, because how much is life worth? I remember one time I had seen they were protesting right here in Monterey on Del Monte, and I think I was on a date. Shout out to the beautiful, smoking, sexy, hot wife. I think we were on a date, or one of those nights. Yeah, I think we were like on a date night. Maybe we were even dating at that point. Long time ago, gente, long time ago. It said how many lives per barrels of oil, some shit like that, right? How many lives per barrels of oil, or something like that. Kind of similar to what Chicago was saying. So shout out to Chicago. That's the executive audio producer of the show. So shout out to you. Let me go ahead and read some comments, though, because I don't want to. I know we're coming up on 8 o'clock. Mikey, if you can drop a link, I'm on the Starlink right now. Oh, you know what? No, cabron, because I'm not on a streaming software. I'm on something. I'm on the next level, cabron. So I can't hop on. But if you want to give me a call, Smokey the Local Bear, we can go ahead and put something out there. Because if you didn't know, gente, I'm going to let you know. Smokey the Local Bear, okay? Real life. He does real life hero shit every single day, okay? Forest fire season is upon us, and Smokey the Local Bear is helping the gente, literally. And he's also an expert. He's also an expert on wind and on fire, on the element of wind and fire and the reactions of them. So it'd be interesting to hear Smokey the Local Bear on what he thinks occurred over there during the wildfires, because again, people were talking about how did this incineration happen so quick, where it didn't even seem like there was a distress alarm letting the people know everything just got charred. A lot of people were saying that the forest green and all the foliage areas of the waterfalls and everything around there was untouched. And it was only the houses that were pummeled to the ground, 13,000 of them. So the theory is this: if they want to take your land, they will find a way to take it. You don't think it's possible? You think that's out of the realm of... I don't think anything is out of the realm of possibility. I just want to see the evidence to it. I'll put it out for the gente to the people's court to let you decide any information that I get. But I thought it was odd that, gracias, Brenda Love. Brenda La Chicana is in the casa. It's one of my day oneers, Chicano Tube ladies. I appreciate you, Brenda Love, making it rain on Wednesday night. They were talking about this could be an energy weapon that was just used to, imagine, to pulverize 13,000 homes. And we had lives that were taken. And this sick governor is talking about redevelopment. And they're getting phone calls from real estate developers to liquidate, to sell their properties. People that have had these properties in the family for decades upon decades, maybe even centuries. I don't know the Hawaiian culture, and I don't know how far it goes back. Cultura Cafe, I see you, my boy. I see Floyd Chavez Sr., that's right, my boy. We at the car show I went to, the Super Show, they had a sneaker, whatever you want. It was like a big display. It was all brand new sneakers. There's my boy Floyd Chavez right there. Denise, that's right, Denise Castillo's in the casa. She's hot, Mikey, no doubt, damn it. And the beautiful wifey, smoking sexy hot wifey, might come on. You might see her on Chicano Tube, guys. She has great input. Well, she's beautiful, and I love her. She has great input. And she has no filter. She has no fucking filter. She's not trying to please anyone. If you followed her on social media, you'll know that. She's gonna let you know what it is when it is, and period. That's right. Machete, that's right. Smokey the Local Bear. Okay, I'm gonna read that comment from. I gotta blow up this a little bit bigger, Smokey, because again, I know, cabron, that in the industry that you're in, you have to, right? Or maybe I don't know, cabron, you have to, but be knowledgeable on wind and fire. All right, here it is. The foliage that wasn't touched was due to it having a higher moisture content in it and is more resistant to fire and heat due to the heat moisture content. So that doesn't sound like a theory. That sounds more like natural laws of wind, fire, or the elements. Like you said, moisture, which obviously has a substance of dampness, liquid, which water, right? Obviously, you know how God does everything, and La Serena, you know, the how the grass is always moist in the morning because of the night air. Moisture on those plants cause the fire to not touch it. Because again, Hawaii is a shout out to BJ Penn. Okay, I follow him on IG, gente. He's off the hook. He was the first North American to win the Mundials in Brazil. The first North American. And he did that like, that's why they called him the prodigy. He did that as a black belt only like 2 or 3 years. He went down and submitted all of the baddest dudes in jiu-jitsu and was the second. Randy Couture was the first and was the second 2-division, and then Conor McGregor was the third 2-division champion in the UFC. He's a Hawaiian. He's a proud Hawaiian from Hilo, Hawaii. Matter of fact, the first time I seen BJ Penn fight, remember when DirecTV used to have those little cards? DirecTV used to have those little cards that you'd have to call up the homie and give him 25 bolas, and it would last like a month or a month and a half. It was DirecTV, right? And I didn't know nothing about no UFC, nothing. Next thing you know, I see Hawaiian dude versus a Chinese dude. The Hawaiian dude blitz. It was Cal Uno and BJ Penn. He Hawaiian dude blitzed the Chinese dude, left him a complete wreck. Wrecked his whole world against the octagon. He was like spaghetti legs and everything. And then the Hawaiian dude jumped out of the cage. He didn't even wait for his name to be announced, his arm to be waved or nothing. And that's when I said, this fucking Hawaiian is badass. I ended up buying like 3 or 4 of his shirts. I wish I would have had his Pinchy board shorts. He had the baddest white board shorts with the black belt on there. But anyways, true Hawaiian through and through. Follow BJ Penn on Instagram because he's all over what's happening in Lahaina. He's seen the real estate developers hitting people up and trying to buy property, and he is united. He actually ran for governor, but I believe they didn't let him. That's another thought. You think, oh, you're just going to run and get in and the people's vote? They've fixed elections already, gente. It's evident. They fucking already have fixed elections. I mean, come on, that's evident. You don't think they fix elections? All of a sudden, when it's time to vote, something happens that we can't go vote in person. Is that a coincidence? No, it's not. Anyways, Smokey the Local Bear, Senka is the street name. Look up fuel models and fuel moisture for wildland fire, and you will get an understanding of what I'm saying. Definitely. No, I believe you know those laws, cabrón. That's why, call me up si quieres. No, I'm going to wrap it up. It's 8 o'clock. Cultura Cafe Machete, same thing happened in Norte Califas during Tubbs. Yes. I went to visit my uncle during the Tubbs fire. And the GPS took me to a place that was completely incinerated and charred. It was a whole everything. Houses, the whole mountainsides. It was crazy. Machete, as of Tuesday afternoon, only a quarter of the burn area had been searched so far, and the disaster had been deemed the deadliest U.S. wildfire more than a century. I had heard someone say in the last 5 years, but again, I haven't researched it or looked up. But yeah, that is insane. It is fire season. I do know that. There's parts of Monterey County where it gets really warm, like especially in South County, or even parts of Monterey out there, Corral de Tierra, where they have like a Smokey's going to laugh, but they have a Smokey the Bear over there, and it has a danger level, yellow, orange, red, or something like that. they have a Smokey the Bear. Orale, Smokey the local bear. We're going to be wrapping up. Abram L says, BJ, Pan, GSP, good fighters. Yeah, definitely, man. Definitely good fighters. He's one of the reasons. That's right. Leon Electrical, that's right. That's my boy right there. 201 Main, and, of course, DJ Booth. Those are our main sponsors right there. That's my boy, Leon Electrical. The day of the fires, the islands were under a red flag warning due to critical fire weather. When under that warning, the probability of ignition is very high and when fires get started. So it could have been natural. It could have been natural. But I've seen a lot of other people post to the contrary. I mean, and it could be just, conspiracy theorists, but post to the contrary that there was no alarm sounded, that it looked like it was some kind of flash that just came upon the people, and all of a sudden everything is charred. I mean, this happened so quick, they couldn't even go downtown or go to this historical museums that hold centuries and centuries of their cultural artifacts. This happened so quick, they couldn't even go and get that. Which I believe, man, breaks the spirit. It's like having heirlooms or the family crest or just historical things, and it's burned and it's all gone. That's crazy. There will be extreme fire growth and spread and fire activity due to those conditions. Then through an 80-mile-per-hour winds, there is nothing you could do to stop it. It happens that fast. The laws of fire. Smokey the Local Bear is going to let you know. Hit that like one time. Don't forget to hit that subscribe. We're going to be coming back on Friday night. Don't forget that. I'm thinking of what I'm doing is Friday night going live again, because these conversations are really more beneficial. I know you want to hear the music, and I want to have a drink too, cabrones. I want to have a drink. But I believe we should start it off with these kind of lives right here, because there's so much happening every single day. We could literally be here hours on hours on hours just talking about information. And so that's what I think I want to start doing. Either Friday night, Sunday night, etc. Coming and tapping more in with the gente. Don't forget to hit that like, hit that subscribe. Julio Solor says it was napalm. It could have been napalm. Remember that movie? What was it called? Man, what was the name of that movie? Platoon. The movie Platoon. Remember that one dude? Remember he had like a baby face. They napalmed the whole side of the mountain. Sauce. And remember, the dude was like untouched, right? The dude knew that if they would have came to pick him up and he's uninjured, that they would have threw his ass right back to the front lines. And what did the dude do? He pulled his knife out. And it was a big, big Rambo. I'd be scared. I got to keep it real. I'd be scared to do what that dude did, man. A big old Rambo knife, and he just stabbed himself in the leg like this. Sas. Just to avoid them throwing him back on the front lines, because the whole mountainside got napalm. Not just that, it was a guerra. There was bullets flying by their heads, man. A lot of those soldiers got PTSD. PTSD is real, man. I had a buddy one time, and he told me one time, he goes, yeah, he gets bonuses, all this stuff, right? He's a Marine, right? And he told me, I get hostile fire pay. This is what the cabron told me. I get hostile fire pay. And I said, what is that, hostile fire pay? It's because they're the Marines, and they're the first ones to hit hostility. They're the first ones to engage. They're the first ones when bullets are snapping or they have to hit the beach. They're the first ones. So my respect. I got another funny story. Real quick. This will be the last one before we go, you guys. It was the wifey's cousin. He was a Marine, right? He was in the Marines, maybe 4 years, 6 years, right? I think we were just married. Long time ago. He was a Marine, right? And so he was here for the weekend. He was a Marine, right? Me, I had already done one term. Okay? If you want those stories, they're on the members only, you guys. Join the members only for those stories. I don't put that out on YouTube. I already done one term, right? And so we're going to go to the store. Let's go to the liquor store. Boom. We're going to go to the one on the corner of Market and Williams. Quality liquors. I said, let's go, cabron, because we're just going to have a drink. I think there was basketball going on. Some, right? Anyways, So I get in his car. He's a Marine, okay, and he's just on a furlough. And we're in the car. He says, "Oh, you know what? He already started the car." And then he turned it off. Boom. And this is like a Lincoln. I think he had a Lincoln or a Mercury. One of those kind of like one of those pancake Lincoln Town cars. Yeah, I think it was like a Lincoln Town car, those pancake flat ones. And then he started it. He goes, "Oh, you know what? Let me get my jacket. It's in the trunk, a leather jacket." And he turned the car off. For some reason, I didn't need to do this. For some reason, I got out of the car when he got out of the car. I didn't have to. I could have been chilling right there. Hey, hurry up, cabron. Or whatever. I minding my own business and not even saying a damn thing, right? I happen to get out of the car, and when I go back there, this guy has a trunk full of artillery and military magazines. And I told him, I said, "Bro, I can't go in this car." He goes, "What? Why not?" I said, "Bro," I just repeated myself, "I can't go in this car." I'm talking about Rambo shells all over the place. Some of them were rows of ammo. "I can't go in this car, bro." And he didn't get it. He goes, but you're with me." Cabron. Okay. It goes over some people's heads, man. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Again, I'm going to see you guys back on Friday night. I'll be tapping into YouTube. I got to tap back in with the familia, man. I'm a little under the weather, but God is good. I'll be good. Don't never worry about your boy. Hey, if God presta vida, I'll be back on Friday night. If you're listening on the replay, or if you're listening, live right now on the replay, don't forget to do the same thing. Comment below your opinion. Comment below what you think. Comment below any other topic that you want to talk about on Friday night. So much things is happening in the world. We're not going to go 2 or 3 days without doing this live. Gracias for everyone that tapped in. Machete says, "My boy Smokey Lokes always keeping it lit." That's right. And keeping it real and helping the people. Literally what he does. He's on the mira. He's like Night Watch. Orale. He's like Night Watch. Okay. If you know, you know. He's like Night Watch, watching out. When we're laying our heads and the pinchy fires are overtaking all of these areas, yeah, Smokey the Local Bear. That's right. And he has a channel too. Go and check him out. Hit the avatar right there and subscribe. Machete, lab catches fire. Smokey Lokes, if a lab catches fire, what's the best thing to put it out? Asking for a friend. Holy smoke. What kind of chemicals? Combustible immediately? Then it's over. Like immediately. If it's that kind of chemical, or when you say lab, what's in the lab, Governor? Only 2 times in my life I was in a lab, and you guys know which ones they are. That was crazy, man. It smelled bad. Like, I just wanted to seep in the skin, and I was like, let me just get my piece, and I'm out. Smoking the Local Bird. Weather has a big impact of fire, along with the topography, fuel loading. That's right, man. Dios, familia, cultura. That's right, Machete. Leaving you with this on Chicano Tube. It's all about Dios, familia, y cultura. Tap in, you guys, back on Friday night. Brenda Love, I see you. There's Smoking the Local Bears channel right there. Ron Garcia, take care. Mikey from Salinas, have a blessed night. That's right, my brother. Did you come out to the Super Show, Abe? I did a little meet and greet. The next one I'm going to be at is in Gilas, in Gilroy. I think it's called the Tamale Festival. I'll put it out there, the information and all that. Meet and greet. Come by. Don't be a dick. Take the flick. We'll take the flick and all that stuff, man. Come through, cabron. Central Cab. Buenas noches, Mikey. That's right, man. We're past 8 o'clock. You guys went a little bit over time. I hope this was something that took you to the next level, or was at least informative, let you know what's going on. I'll see you guys on Friday night, and I'm out. But remember what I always say. In the end, all you got is the memories.